Today, I'm going to share some tips on how to not get nervous on your first ever sales meeting. This question was asked by my friend Rena, who is part of the IC Framework community and has been booking meetings like crazy recently. So you might be wondering, Alex, you're a bastion of confidence. You're the most confident guy I've ever seen in the world. In fact, when anyone asks me who's the most confident guy, I always say, go watch Alex's video because he's so confident. There's no way he could ever be nervous on a sales call. I'm going to let you in on a little secret, all right? I haven't always been this confident guy that you're seeing in front of you today, all right? In fact, in the early days, I was so scared of success that I wouldn't even send cold emails. It took me 7 months to make my first cold call. And it was because I was so nervous and I would make excuses. I would say like, my offer is not ready, or I'm afraid of success or whatever. Like I would say this stuff, but what it really was I was afraid not of success. I was afraid of picking up the phone and trying to sell. That's it. And the thing that broke me through it is the thing that will help you conquer all non-lethal fears, which is I took action. How did I stop being scared or nervous of hopping on the phone? Well, I hopped on the phone. How did I stop being nervous about making YouTube videos? Well, I hit record. That's the thing. You can jump right into the pool and then all of a sudden you have to swim or you're going to drown. That's the way that I approach these things. So I called that client. After 8 months of being too nervous to call anybody, I finally called a restaurant and they were into it. I walked into the restaurant to do the demo and they ended up buying. It was a menu rewriting service that I had created. It was copywriting basically for restaurants. And they bought, and that was fine. He went to his truck, he wrote a check, he gave me the check. I got the check, I pinned it to the wall. I didn't even cash it because I was so proud. That check now is lost to history. Who knows where it went? But I tell you that to tell you this. And that is nervousness is just a symptom of procrastination. And the way to stop being nervous is to stop procrastinating and get on the phone. Now, here are some other tips. Tip number 1, block 10 to 15 minutes before the call in order to research the prospect. One reason why I'm not very nervous on our calls now is I do so much research on the people that we meet. And I just said 10 to 15 here because that's what a normal person would do. But if I'm meeting with somebody high value, I'm listening to their podcast episodes. I'm reading their entire book if they have a book. Like, I'm doing an incredible amount of research so that by the time I sit down with them, I already know them and I know I can build rapport, because all you really have to do if you find a fellow practitioner, a fellow scientist in the business world, is talk nerdy about business and all of a sudden you're best friends. So doing research like that will allow you to build your confidence and remove the nervousness. Things I like to look for. I like to understand their business and how it is now. I like to understand who works there. How's the business been growing? You can look at the LinkedIn stats and figure that out. How does the website look? Are there any things that are obvious to me in terms of things that need to be changed? And based on all of that, I'll have my ideas for things that could be improved and ways that I could instantly add value to their business. This gives me massive confidence and reduces all nervousness. And that actually brings us to the second tip. Tip number 2, realize they need you. A business would not hop on the phone with you if they didn't see some kind of value in your pitch or your cold email. So for instance, let's say you're selling Facebook ads management. If they were fully happy with their Facebook ads campaigns, they would never take a call with somebody trying to sell them Facebook ads management. So they want your insights. They want you to improve their campaigns, regardless of whatever aesthetic or vibe they're giving off. They wouldn't be on that call if they weren't open to a change. So realize that they need you, and as long as you provide value, they'll continue to listen. There's no nervousness needed. I got 3 more tips coming, but before we jump into it, make sure that you like this video and subscribe down below. Tip number 3, throw all negativity out the window. I don't want you to think any negative thoughts. I don't want you to think things like, what if they don't show up? Or what if they don't like me? Like all that stuff. Do not overthink this. If they don't show up, you're gonna send them a reminder 5 minutes into the meeting, or you're gonna give them a call. Like there's stuff you can do. If they hate you, you move on to the next prospect. This is sales. It does not matter if you lose 1 deal if you have 10 in the pipeline. Just focus on the other 9. Tip number 4, listen to some hype music before the call. We all have that one song that gets us going, gets us jazzed up. Listen to that so you can get into a good mood before you jump on the call. And there are other things you can listen to that help as well. Some people, like James Altucher, like listening to stand-up comedians. I actually had James Altucher on the show. He's a big mentor of mine. So if you want to listen to that interview, you can as well. But one of the things he does is listens to Chris Rock or other stand-up comedians to get him in a funny vibe before he does these calls. Other people, like the YouTube ads guru Alaric Heck, recommended listening to testimonials, customers saying good things before the sales calls. And that also works really well because that convinces you that you're good. And I think that's one reason why people have awards around as well. People like to look at the awards and then they remember that they're actually good, and then they're able to channel that into the sales calls. So that's a very real technique that I've used in the past that works as well. And tip number 5 is practice. Practice 1,000 calls before your first call. How do you do that? You role play with yourself. Do your pitch into a camera, rewatch it, and see where the issues are. Plan out your questions, then practice asking those questions and rewatch them, listen to the recordings, and see where you can improve. And I know you might be thinking, oh, that's too awkward. I can't listen to myself. Well, guess what? The entire world has to listen to you all the time. And you're not getting thrown out of everywhere for being too awkward, so you're probably okay. But I would watch the videos back in order to improve. Otherwise, there's no way you can get better. Another good thing about practicing is if you go in and you've practiced role plays and all this stuff hundreds of times, then when you get on that first sales call, it's not actually your first sales call. It's your 101st sales call because you practiced 100 times before you had it. This will make it seem like you have a lot more experience than you do, and will make the deals more likely to close. Let me know down below. Do you feel nervous on sales calls? What do you do to get over it? Would love to have a conversation about that. And if you want to have access to all of our courses and become a part of a community of awesome people, then check out email10k.com. It comes with all of our courses plus weekly coaching calls with me, so we can talk, we can hang out, and we can improve your business this year. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to smash that like button to encourage this type of content on YouTube. Subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. I'm Alex Berman.